The violence, when it came, was explosive. What happened next would shock investigators and change the international art world forever. Welcome back to Crime Canvas. If you're just joining us, or if you need a reminder of how we got here, let me take you through the events that led to this moment. Emma Blake was a 28-year-old struggling artist from Los Angeles with big dreams and little money. Working as a gallery assistant, she poured her frustrations into paintings of Abu Dhabi, a city she'd never seen but desperately wanted to reach. Everything changed when she met Tariq Al-Rashid, a wealthy 47-year-old businessman from Abu Dhabi, at a Beverly Hills gallery opening. He purchased her painting for $30,000, 10 times her asking price. Her ex-boyfriend, Daniel, watched the encounter from across the room, already sensing danger. What followed was a carefully orchestrated seduction. Tariq swept Emma into a world of luxury, private dinners, helicopter rides, promises of artistic success. Despite Daniel's warnings that Tariq was married with 3 wives, Emma accepted Tariq's offer to move to Abu Dhabi for a solo exhibition and a life beyond her wildest dreams. The golden cage revealed itself slowly. Tariq's gifts came with invisible chains, a driver who monitored her movements, a new phone she suspected was tracked. Her communications with Daniel became increasingly difficult. When she met Layla, Tariq's third wife, the warning was clear. Being his favorite is like being the brightest star in the sky. You shine so bright, you don't notice you're burning up. Emma's work began to change, her paintings growing darker, more confined. When she discovered discrepancies in gallery sales records, she realized the horrifying truth. Millions of dollars were being laundered through art sales. Her paintings were being used to clean dirty money. Layla approached her, claiming to be gathering evidence against Tariq for years. She needed someone inside the art world to make the connections. Emma began hiding what she discovered within her own artwork, using specialized pigments to encode financial records, transaction logs, names, and dates into her paintings. The threat started. Slashed paintings, damaged break lines, notes on her pillow. Tariq announced she would move to his palace, but the word protected sounded like imprisoned. Emma planned her escape with help from Daniel and Layla, or so she thought. The night she tried to flee, every door was locked, every contact unreachable, every escape route blocked. Then Layla appeared, revealing the truth with a cold smile. She had been setting Emma up from the beginning, using her to discover exactly how much Emma knew about Tariq's operation. That's when Tariq arrived, his elegant composure replaced by rage. "Did you think I wouldn't know?" he said. "Every message to Daniel, every document you photographed, every plan you made. I saw it all." And that's where we left Emma, trapped, betrayed, facing the man whose world she had threatened to expose. Before we continue, if you're invested in this story, if you want to see more deeply researched true crime investigations like this, please subscribe to Crime Canvas. Your support means everything to our team and helps us bring you the truth behind crimes that shock the world. Now, let's return to that terrible night. The violence, when it came, was explosive. Tariq's hand shot out, catching her throat, pushing her against the wall. "I gave you everything," he snarled. "Made you successful. Made you famous. Made you mine." His grip tightened. "And this is how you repay me?" Emma fought back with desperate strength, her nails leaving bloody tracks down his face. The struggle sent them crashing into her paintings, canvases falling like dominoes. Somewhere in the chaos, she managed to send a pre-programmed SOS to Daniel with her location. Layla watched the scene with calculated interest, only intervening when Tariq's rage threatened to go too far. "We need her alive," she reminded him sharply, "at least until we know where she's hidden everything." The next hours passed in a blur of fear and pain. Tariq's security team searched her apartment methodically, tearing through canvases, ripping apart her carefully constructed life. Through it all, she kept silent, knowing her evidence was already safely transferred to multiple secure locations. "Tell me who else knows," Tariq demanded, his face inches from hers. When she remained silent, his hand struck her face with practiced precision. "You think your American boyfriend can help you? By the time anyone realizes you're missing, there won't be anything left to find. The police arrival was unexpected, responding to a noise complaint from a neighbor. Tarek switched seamlessly into the concerned lover role, explaining that his emotional artist girlfriend was having a breakdown, destroying her own work. The officers, clearly recognizing him, accepted his explanation without question. After they left, Tarek's rage took on a colder edge. "You forced my hand, Habibi," he said softly, pulling out his phone. "Now we do this another way." The call he made was brief, in Arabic, but Emma caught enough to understand her fate was being decided. She managed one last call to Los Angeles, using a moment's distraction when one of Tarek's men discovered her hidden phone. "Daniel," she whispered, "if anything happens to me, everything's in the paintings. The real ones, not the copies. Look closer." The line went dead as the phone was ripped from her hand. The last thing Emma clearly remembered was being forced into a black SUV. Layla's words followed her into the darkness. "It's nothing personal, my dear. Just business." And in Abu Dhabi, business is everything. Hours later, her abandoned Range Rover would be found in the desert, her phone wiped clean beside it. Her last message to Daniel would trigger an international investigation that would eventually expose Tarek's empire. But too late to save the woman who had dared to love and betray one of Abu Dhabi's most dangerous men. Detective Rashid Al-Hamadi stood in the desert dawn, watching forensics teams work around a disturbing discovery. The morning sun cast long shadows across the sand where a jogger had stumbled upon something partially buried. Emma Blake's distinctive Louboutin heel protruding from the dunes, a marker leading to darker revelations below. The body was preserved by the desert, Dr. Nadia Hassan, chief medical examiner, explained as they uncovered Emma's remains. Strangulation marks on the neck, defensive wounds on the arms, traces of gold paint on her hands. She fought back. The last detail made the detective pause. It would prove crucial later. Daniel arrived in Abu Dhabi like a storm, demanding answers within hours of the body's discovery. His gaunt face and haunted eyes spoke of months spent searching, following leads, pressuring authorities. "She knew this might happen," he told Detective Al-Hamadi during their first interview. "That last call, she was trying to tell me something about her paintings." The investigation initially faced resistance. Tarek's influence ran deep, and the first official theory suggested a tragic accident. A young artist lost in the desert, perhaps disoriented. But Daniel's presence drew media attention, particularly when he revealed Emma's last message about the paintings. "Emma had a technique she developed in art school," Daniel explained during a late-night interview. "Hiding images within images, using specialized pigments that only showed under certain lights. She called it her secret language." The forensics team descended on Emma's studio, armed with ultraviolet lights and scanning equipment. What they found hidden in her canvases stunned even veteran investigators. Detailed financial records, transaction logs, names, dates, all concealed within layers of paint, invisible to the naked eye, but absolutely clear in their implications. The media erupted when the first evidence leaked. "American artist murdered. Abu Dhabi's dark art scandal" screamed international headlines. CNN ran special reports on art-based money laundering. The BBC dispatched investigators to track the money trail across Europe and Asia. Tarek's first public appearance after the discovery showed cracks in his carefully maintained facade. "Ms. Blake was a troubled young woman," he told reporters, his voice steady but his hands betraying subtle tremors. "Her accusations are the products of an artistic mind prone to fantasy." But the evidence in Emma's paintings proved otherwise. Each canvas told part of a larger story, a complex web of financial crimes using art sales to launder billions. Detective Al-Hamadi's team matched painting sales with international transfers, shell companies, and suspicious death stretching back years. Layla's testimony changed everything. Tarek's third wife appeared at the police station unannounced, her designer attire concealing a thumb drive of additional evidence. "I used Emma," she admitted coldly. "We all did. But her death wasn't part of the plan. He lost control when she threatened to expose everything." International pressure mounted as the investigation expanded. Interpol linked the Abu Dhabi art scheme to criminal organizations worldwide. The FBI unveiled parallel investigations into gallery sales in Los Angeles, New York, and London. Each revelation added pressure on authorities to act, despite Tariq's influence. The Financial Crimes Unit uncovered staggering figures. Over 5 years, more than $3 billion have been laundered through art sales, with Emma's paintings playing a crucial role in the final months. Her signature on gallery documents provided a paper trail that couldn't be erased. She documented everything, Detective Al-Hamadi explained to a joint task force. But instead of keeping files that could be discovered, she hid the evidence in plain sight, in the very paintings that were being used to launder money. Daniel spent days in Emma's studio with investigators, helping decode her artistic encryption. Each painting, examined under specialized lights, revealed new information. The final piece, left unfinished on her easel, proved most damning, containing detailed records of Tariq's entire operation. The investigation faced constant interference. Key witnesses disappeared or changed their statements. Evidence vanished from secure locations. But Emma's paintings couldn't be silenced. Their secrets were literally painted into history. The truth about Layla unfolded like a carefully orchestrated performance. While Abu Dhabi police prepared to arrest Tariq, Detective Al-Hamadi discovered encrypted files on Emma's cloud drive that revealed an even darker twist. Layla hadn't just been gathering evidence. She had orchestrated Emma's entry into their world, selecting her specifically for her combination of talent and vulnerability. "I chose her from hundreds of artists," Layla confessed during her final interrogation, her composure finally cracking. Young, ambitious, talented enough to attract Tariq's attention, naive enough to be manipulated. "I needed someone who could document everything through art. Someone whose work was worth millions." The perfect trap. Tariq's arrest played out on international television. Anti-terrorism units surrounded his palace at dawn. The same golden desert sunrise that had once inspired Emma's paintings now illuminating his fall. He remained elegant even in handcuffs. His only visible reaction, a slight tremor in his hands when officers mentioned finding gold paint on his discarded clothes. "You think you've won," he told Detective Al-Hamadi during processing. "But empires don't fall simply because you arrest one man." Hours later, his words proved prophetic as investigators discovered the true scope of the operation. Hundreds of compromised galleries, thousands of launder transactions, a network spanning 5 continents. The international investigation revealed staggering figures. Over $5 billion laundered through art sales globally, with Abu Dhabi serving as the central hub. Emma's paintings had been crucial, their soaring prices raising red flags that finally caught authorities' attention. Each canvas sold had moved millions in illegal funds while secretly documenting the very transactions that would expose the scheme. Daniel found bitter vindication in the revelations. "She became the very evidence she was gathering," he told reporters. "Every brushstroke, every color choice. She turned her art into a weapon against corruption, knowing it would probably kill her." The reform of Abu Dhabi's art world was swift and comprehensive. New regulations required detailed provenance for all sales above $50,000. Digital tracking systems monitored ownership transfers. Independent auditors reviewed gallery transactions. The very system Tariq had exploited was dismantled and rebuilt. Expatriate artists in the Emirates faced a reckoning of their own. Many discovered their work had been used in similar schemes without their knowledge. Gallery owners found themselves under scrutiny, forced to prove legitimate sources for their funds. The gilded dream of easy success in the region tarnished, replaced by harder truths about the price of ambition. Emma changed everything. Jennifer Torres reflected during the opening of a memorial exhibition at her Los Angeles gallery. She showed us that art isn't just about beauty or profit. It's about truth, no matter how dangerous that truth might be. The exhibition of Emma's final works drew crowds worldwide. Under specialized lights, each painting revealed its hidden evidence, names, dates, transaction records, all embedded in luminescent pigments. But it was the artistry itself that moved viewers most. Beautiful images of golden cages, desert mirages, and women trapped in luxury, each holding deeper meanings now painfully clear. Layla's own arrest came as she attempted to flee to a non-extradition country. The woman who had played both sides found herself trapped by her own machinations. Her detailed testimony, given in exchange for leniency, exposed decades of financial crimes and implicated dozens of prominent figures in the Emirates' elite circles. The Emma Blake Foundation emerged from tragedy, established by Daniel using funds from the sale of her final paintings. Its mission: supporting young artists while promoting transparency in the international art market. The foundation also maintained a watchdog role, investigating suspicious art sales and protecting vulnerable artists from exploitation. Tariq's trial revealed the full extent of his operation. Prosecutors presented evidence spanning 15 years, much of it preserved in Emma's innovative artistic encryption. The man who had once ruled the city's art world sat impassive as years of crimes were laid bare, his only reaction coming when Emma's final unfinished painting was displayed in court. She turned his greatest weakness against him, Detective Al-Hamadi noted in his closing report. His passion for art, his need to possess beauty. She used those very things to document his downfall. Even in death, she painted his confession. The international art market underwent changes following the case. New regulations required blockchain tracking of major sales. Artificial intelligence systems monitored price anomalies. The very techniques Emma had documented became textbook examples of how to spot money laundering through art. 1 year after her death, Emma's story was far from forgotten. Art students studied her innovative evidence-hiding techniques. Financial investigators examined her methods for documenting crimes through creative coding. Her final works toured museums worldwide, each exhibition revealing new layers of evidence she'd hidden in plain sight. The memorial established at the Abu Dhabi Opera housed her last painting, the unfinished piece that had sealed her fate. Under normal light, it showed a woman emerging from golden chains. Under ultraviolet light, it revealed the entire criminal network. Every name, every transaction, every secret she discovered. Daniel ensured her legacy lived on through the foundation's work. Young artists received scholarships in her name, each recipient learning her story as both inspiration and warning. The foundation's annual Truth in Art Awards celebrated works that exposed corruption or championed transparency in the art world. Emma knew the risks, Daniel said at the awards' first ceremony, but she believed art should serve truth above all. She turned her talent into testimony, her creativity into evidence. She painted her own story, knowing it would be her last, but ensuring it would outlive her. Detective Al-Hamadi kept a small print of one of her works in his office, a desert sunrise painted in her distinctive style. Under ultraviolet light, it revealed a simple message: some truths are worth dying for. Abu Dhabi's art world would never be the same. The glittering facade had cracked, revealing darker truths beneath. But from those shadows emerged something stronger, an industry built on transparency rather than illusion, on truth rather than glamour. Emma Blake's final masterpiece wasn't a painting, but a complete transformation of the system that had claimed her life. In the end, her art spoke louder than any testimony, reached further than any investigation. Each canvas told a story of corruption exposed through creativity, of truth revealed through beauty. She had turned her golden cage into a gallery of evidence, her talent into testimony, her death into a catalyst for change. The desert sunset still paints the Emirates towers in shades of gold, but now those colors carry new meaning, a reminder that even the most beautiful facades can hide the darkest truths, and that art, in its purest form, serves justice as much as beauty. If Emma's story moved you, if it made you think about the price of ambition and the power of truth, please subscribe to Crime Canvas. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light, honoring victims by ensuring their truth is never forgotten. Every subscription motivates us to research deeper, tell better stories, and seek justice through storytelling. Emma Blake's legacy lives on, not just in the art world she transformed, but in every person who refuses to stay silent in the face of corruption. Her canvas was crime. Her paint was evidence. Her masterpiece was truth. And that truth will never fade.